This nation celebrates Black History Month,
Yes.
a whole month dedicated for that.
Yes.
So, when we talk about legislation, and I'm wondering, a nation that tries as much as talks about inclusivity and diversity and all that. So, with what I see the government doing, making sure that the blacks are celebrated. When you mentioned the grants, there are some grants that are special for the black people.
First of all, let's just talk about Black history. It's 28 days in a month.
Yes.
You can't cover the amount of history for Black people in 28 days. There's also Heart Health Month. There's so many different things that are dedicated. A month is dedicated to. Okay, so that's great, but within that Black History Month, what are they really doing for us? Yes, they're allowing us to share the history, but is it in the schools? Is it in institutions? When you go to institutions, you'll see a sticker that says, "We embrace everybody," but it's a pride flag. There have been many organizations that don't allow Black people to wear anything that says Black Lives Matter or Black History. You're not allowed to wear that. So what really are we doing over those 28 days?
I would love to ask, how can community events and festivals promote cultural or cross-cultural understanding and inclusivity?
Well, we do have a lot that are doing that now. We do. We have, for example, AWA, African Women Acting. They do an annual festival. And with that festival, they have all different cultures across the diaspora that bring their specialties, and whether it be food and clothing and artifacts and jewelry and the music and it's the atmosphere. It's beautiful. And to me, if we had more of those things, where we are allowing for people to see all of the different cultures and all of the different ethnicities, and all that we have to offer, all of the riches and resources, then that would be a wonderful thing. But that is one in particular that comes to mind that does it and does it beautifully. So if we had more of those kinds of things across the year, that would be a great start.
Does the schools have any role to play in building community relations?
Absolutely, because you have specific races of people in schools, and it's multiracial, right? So if schools would also offer those kinds of programs where they're whether it be after-school programs or summer school programs, or even part of the curriculum, that would be wonderful. So the role that schools can play is making sure that they educate everybody about all of the different cultures. And I think that would help to eradicate a lot of the anti-Black racism that goes on in schools, because there's plenty of that.
Well, that's interesting, right? Okay. What about the area of community collaborative projects? Looking at such things happening around to make sure that there is this bonding, inequality is also addressed, possibly poverty. So what's your take on that?
Well, it starts again, if we were all to be able to create some sort of summit.
Is that possible?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Why are we not doing that?
That is the burning question. Why aren't we doing that? And it starts with us, right? Like I said, we see so many other communities doing it. And it's not to say that those communities don't have challenges. We just don't see it. We see building. So we have to get out of this mentality that we live with, because when you think of Tulsa, for example, or Africaville, I'm going to start with Tulsa. Tulsa, okay,
Right.
had what they called Black Wall Street. The white people did not allow Black people to be able to build any businesses or even be in their establishments. So they created their own. They had all of the major infrastructures, like banks, all of that. They were thriving. Every business was owned and operated by Black people. And the white people didn't like it. So they came and they burned it down. Okay, so anybody can Google the Tulsa Race Massacre and you'll get the story. Same with Africville. This is in Nova Scotia. In the late 1800s, we had a group of black people that came out of slavery, and they were in a subset of northern Nova Scotia, and they called it Africville. They did not get garbage pickup. They had no sewage. They were not given any of the amenities that the white people were given, but they still managed to build. And you know why? Because they came together and they said, you know what? You're good at this, you're good at planting, you're good at growing, you're good at watering, you're good at cooking, you're good at... And they created a community for themselves. They didn't like it. So what they did was they came and bulldozed the entire community, put them all on dump trucks and drove them out. My point is that we are capable of doing it, but what we have to first do is change our mindset. And the mindset is that we are still trapped in that slave mentality. And once we get out of that and get out of our own way and be able to look at each other and share in what we have.
So if I may get you correctly, it means we are also our own trouble.
We are.
All right. Viewers will be right back.